The American romantic ideal, celebrated in film and literature, often centers on a tumultuous, all-consuming passion, two fiercely independent souls finding each other through a dazzling, often dramatic spark. The focus is squarely on individual happiness, direct communication, and emotional self-expression. Yet, when we turn our gaze toward Asian cultures, particularly those rooted in Confucian or similar philosophies, we observe a different, less dramatic, but profoundly resilient model of partnership. One marked by quiet commitment, sacrifice, and remarkable longevity. While the Western ideal often prioritizes the high peaks of passion, the Asian model seems built for the long, steady ascent of life. For a curious American couple, the true secret sauce is not a single ingredient, but a cultural triad of collective duty, high-context communication, and practical love centered on future security, which together forge bonds that withstand decades. The foundation of this longevity is often a profound sense of collective duty over immediate individual happiness. In many Asian cultures, marriage is not merely the union of two people, but the deliberate joining of two families, a commitment summarized by the Chinese concept of jia, or the family system. Within this framework, a marriage is viewed as an essential component of a larger social and familial structure. This contrasts sharply with the contemporary American emphasis on marriage as a vehicle for self-actualization. For Asian couples, the obligation to the jia, to elders, to children, and to the stability of the entire unit acts as a powerful, non-negotiable stabilizing force. This sense of duty provides an extraordinary emotional and practical security blanket. When commitment is rooted in responsibility and obligation, it removes the relationship from the realm of volatile emotion and places it in the secure harbor of shared purpose. When times become difficult, as they inevitably do in every marriage, the default action is not dissolution based on a temporary lack of feeling, but perseverance based on an enduring promise. A partner is less a lover who must constantly justify their emotional value, and more a collaborator in a sacred long-term project. This commitment to the unit over the individual often generates a quiet, deeper respect that matures over time, evolving from initial affection into profound, almost unshakable trust. A second crucial element lies in the domain of high-context communication, which often bewilders Western observers accustomed to direct, low-context interactions. In high-context societies, much of the meaning in communication is not explicitly spoken, but is derived from nonverbal cues, shared history, and mutual understanding, a practice that, in Japan, is elegantly termed kuki oyomu, or reading the air. Where American couples might be encouraged to get everything off their chest through direct, high-volume confrontation, Asian couples often manage conflict through subtlety, indirectness, and strategic silence. This isn't a failure to communicate. It is communication governed by the principle of preserving harmony and saving face, a concept universally important across many Asian societies. A spouse may choose not to address a minor annoyance directly because doing so would cause unnecessary distress and disrupt the household's peace. The priority is not cathartic self-expression, but the maintenance of relational tranquility. While this style can be misunderstood by Westerners as emotional repression or coldness, it is, in practice, a form of profound respect and self-control. It suggests a mature recognition that some battles are not worth fighting, and that the long-term emotional well-being of the partnership takes precedence over short-term gratification of one's own frustration. The goal is not to win the argument, but to ensure the relationship wins the war of attrition. Finally, the most powerful ingredient in this secret sauce is the concept of practical love. For many Asian couples, affection is not measured by daily declarations of devotion or by grand, spontaneous gestures, though those certainly exist. Instead, love is defined by sustained, tangible acts of sacrifice and planning. Love is the partner who works a second job to ensure the children's tuition is paid. Love is the tireless effort to save diligently for a secure retirement. Love is bringing home a specific favorite food without having to be asked. This emphasis on practical prudence transforms romance from an ethereal, fleeting emotion into a solid, bedrock certainty. The commitment is visible in the shared bank account, the co-signed mortgage, and the mutual planning for the next generation. The emotional result is a deep, abiding sense of security. When a partner demonstrates love by reliably ensuring your future is protected, they earn a level of trust that no amount of flowers or dramatic apologies could ever achieve. This pragmatic devotion makes the relationship feel less like an optional, emotionally driven contract and more like an unbreakable, jointly owned enterprise built to shelter both partners through life's inevitable storms. In examining the enduring relationships prevalent in many Asian cultures, the American audience finds not a recipe for exotic, unattainable love, but a reflection on universal values viewed through a different cultural lens. The secret sauce of longevity is simply the prioritization of the collective over the self, of harmony over conflict, and of practical action over verbal affirmation. These principles, collective duty, high context sensitivity, and tangible practical love, are not genetic endowments, they are learned behaviors. They represent a sustainable model of devotion, demonstrating that the most resilient partnerships are often forged not in the heat of initial passion, but in the quiet, consistent application of duty, respect, and mutual future planning. This realization offers an encouraging takeaway. The quiet ingredients for a lasting relationship are within reach of any couple willing to adjust their focus from self-fulfillment to shared commitment.